In Black Magic class on Thursday, I learned Stone Shape. It costs 20 mana to perform and allows a caster to rearrange a small amount of stone into a new configuration. I also learned Poison, a mix of green and black magic, which costs 15 mana to perform and alter substances within a living body, causing ongoing damage and pain. In White Magic class on Friday, I learned a grounding spell. It's a mix of blue and white magic and costs 15 mana to perform. It interrupts a target's casting to redirect their spell into the ground or floor. On Saturday morning, I get up early to deliver the mail. As I begin to sort the mail into stacks by haul, I find something unexpected. A large, padded envelope addressed to Mrs. Grabiner. Me? But no one's supposed to know. It could be the professor's mother or something, but then why would it come here? It must mean me, right? I have to find out. I sit down and peel open the envelope. Inside is a tiny wooden box, fastened shut, and a letter written on thick, creamy paper. Maybe this is parchment. I don't know. It feels smooth to the touch. But what does it say? To the newest member of the Grabiner family. Congratulations on managing to drag Hieronymous to the altar at last, and my preemptive condolences as well. I know my son is no peach to live with. Gets it from me, I'm sure. I'd ask my ex-wife, if I could find her. What is this? Is this his father? It's a waste to spend your whole life mourning for the past, and I hope he's learning that now. Too many hard words have come between us. I expect he still burns my letters unread. But you, dear lady, must have found the key to his heart. A clever and persistent woman, I'm sure. He would have nothing less. He thinks Professor Grabiner has fallen in love with me? He must have no idea what really happened. If you have need of anything, feel free to call on me. If you haven't made your own arrangements, I can provide reliable retainers for the children. Yes, even in the colonies. It was his wish that I keep my distance, but I still have my contacts. Retainers? Children? As a wedding present, I've enclosed the seals and portal signatures for Ravane Cottage. It's recently refreshed and warded. Use it for the honeymoon and discard it, or change it to your whims and keep it. Or sell it, if you wish. I have been keeping it for Hieronymous ever since he admired it as a child. Now it is his. I would do more if the boy would let me, but we are each as stubborn as the other. I'll not press him so soon. Warmest regards, Aloysius Grabiner, 16th Viscount Montague, Shade of Shetlock. I don't even know what some of those words mean. What seems clear, though, is that this little box contains some sort of present. It's about the size of a deck of cards and made up of tiny pieces of wood in different colors, all patterned together like a quilt. It's also held tightly shut with a complicated-looking set of metal hooks and latches. This is all a big mistake. I'm not the professor's real wife, and we're certainly not going to have a honeymoon. I tuck the box and the letter back into the envelope. They're not meant for me. Shortly afterward, while I'm finishing up with the mail, Professor Grabiner comes into the room. Sir? This came in the mail. I hand him the envelope, and he frowns at the open end. It was addressed to me, so I looked at it, but I think it's really for you. It's from your father. He sent a wedding present. I didn't open that. I see. He skims through the letter, then stares at me, eyebrow raised, like he's expecting me to say something. I dip my eyes down. I should go. Yes, that would be for the best. It would seem that you have learned some sense, or at least some restraint. I believe 5 merits would not be out of the question. Thanks. Good day to you. He leaves the room. I'm not completely sure what just happened, but I think he's bribing me with merits to keep my mouth shut. Because of what his father said? Because of what was in the box? I didn't know, but Professor Grabiner was a private person, and I wasn't going to pry. Professor Grabiner ran both hands through his hair as he paced back and forth across the length of his room. The letter sat open on the desk with the box beside it. So many thoughts raced through his mind that it was difficult to think straight. One thought rose above the others. He had gotten incredibly lucky. No, he couldn't call this luck. If he was truly lucky, he would have retrieved this letter before Tori even had a chance to see it. However, he was lucky that Tori had finally decided to show some restraint and did not attempt to open the box. If she had played with the puzzle inside and happened to infuse it with her magic, she would have opened up a portal that would have sucked her straight into the other world. Granted, Ravine Cottage was well warded, but it would have forced him to enter the other world to retrieve her, and that was something he wanted to avoid at all costs. He did feel slightly relieved, however, that Tori did not ask him any questions. He was not sure how much she was able to glean from the letter, but there were 2 very obvious damning sentiments contained within. The first was that he had a troubled relationship with his father. He kept his private life private, and he didn't want Tori asking any questions about his past. He liked engaging her curiosity, but not when it came to the personal details of his life. The second, more troubling thought was that Tori had seen the list of titles underneath his father's name. He wasn't sure how much sense she was able to make of them, but she had to at least be smart enough to understand that he was a noble. As far as he knew, none of the Wildseed students had any real knowledge of his noble bloodline, and he wanted to keep it that way. What if she asked someone what those titles meant and uncovered the details of his sordid past? He had to trust her. He hated to be put in the position of, yet again, trusting someone else with the privileged details of his life, but Tori had not told anyone about their marriage. Still, that could be due to the embarrassment it would cause them both if those details ever came to light. What if she decided to tell the entire school about his complicated relationship with his father, of his house in the other world, of his noble status? Part of him wanted to seek her out right now and make her vow never to say anything to anyone about what she had just read, but that might only incite her curiosity further. No, it seemed the only thing he could do now was to trust his wife to leave the past where it belonged and keep his secret safe. She had not asked him any questions. If she was trying to show him that she could be responsible, then he had to trust that she knew, implicitly, that this was information that shouldn't be shared. He pauses for a moment. Tori had kept his secret safe, but there was someone who obviously hadn't. His face flushes with anger as he realizes that Potsdam must have let his father know what had transpired, even after he specifically told her not to inform his father that he was now married. What if his father was on his way to the States right now in order to meet Tori and to try to force him to take up his role as Viscount now that he had been espoused? That absolutely could not happen. He did not want to take his anger out on Tori, but Potsdam was another matter entirely.